And with me now is Westchester University professor of statistics, Laura Pyott, who conducted the poll along with her students. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And, you know, this is often a question in election years. Will young people come out to vote? Given what you have seen in the past, what was your expectation, and did the results match that?
So when we talk about young people, that's a broad group. The people that I look at are college students. So these are students who attend a state university in Pennsylvania. Historically, they've been voting in higher numbers over the last few elections, so that when we saw that the intent to vote was high and that the proportion of students registered to vote was high, it's definitely a little higher than what actually is the truth. But we weren't surprised with how high it was. The way we conduct our poll, the students get an email and they can click on it if they want to. If they're not politically inclined, they may not click on the link. So we tend to get a lot of students in the poll who are engaged politically. But that being said, we have an idea of where we think students are going to vote. It's not quite this high, but it's definitely higher and trending higher every election.
So tell us more about what you found specifically in the big races in Pennsylvania, the Senate and the gubernatorial races. What did you find in your poll?
So the Democratic candidates are really way out in front with their leads. Both Fetterman and Governor or Attorney General Shapiro are winning with about a 30% margin. We are able to do a little bit of a regional analysis because people across the state vote with the certain identities. We were able to break down the students and look at them regionally. And those Democratic candidates are the favored candidates by a lot, except for in the center of the state. In the center of the state, the race gets a little bit closer. But for the most part, both Democratic candidates are up 30 plus points.
And, you know, there is an expectation from people that young people tend to trend more towards the Democratic Party. They tend to be more progressive. What did you find? How do the voters, the student voters you're talking to, look at themselves?
So we did ask them their ideology, and this surprised me a little bit. We were at about 35% who identified as liberal, 36% identified as moderate, and then the conservative slice was about 21%. With the left, you know, what was left, they just weren't sure. That doesn't really align with how students are voting. The moderates, if all the liberals are voting for Democratic candidates, a big chunk of the moderates are as well.
This poll was also part of a class to help students understand polls in general. Why do you think that is necessary?
Well, I created the course after the 2016 election. Polls missed pretty big in that election, but even the polls that didn't miss or within the margin of error, there was a lot of upset folks out there. And polls missed, but then also people did not understand how polls work. There is a scientific method behind it. There's science, there's statistics behind it. So what I thought, because I do have an interest in politics and polling as well, is that I would build a course where I would teach students how polling works, how to create a poll, and how to analyze the data. But also how to read polls. How can you look at a poll and tell if it's a good one or not a good one? How to identify the margin of error and the sample size, and how the sample was collected. So that was my motivation. And then from that came this poll, which has really just been so much fun for both me and the students.
All right, well, we'll have to leave it there for now. Westchester University professor of statistics, Laura Pyott, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.